Haunted House for Xbox 360 is a 2010 remaster of the 1982 Atari 2600 release and is a decent game, worth the $4.99 I paid. This top-down action puzzle game is pretty short and took me somewhere between 4 to 5 hours to beat. The game is pretty simple in nature and repetitive. You explore rooms, find keys, fight enemies, repeat. Haunted House has four main levels, each divided into five sections, I think, and they're pretty much all the same, other than new enemies and weapons being added in. You go around and search a bunch of containers in each area to find keys, journal entries, collectibles, coins, sometimes health packs, and light sources, some of which double as weapons. Keys are pretty self-explanatory. They unlock doors, although some doors require multiple keys or require you to find and pull levers to unlock them. Journal entries add a little bit of extra insight to the story if you want to read them, and collectibles are, well, collectibles. They serve no purpose to progressing in the game and are just a little side objective for the player with an achievement for finding all collectibles in the game. Coins do literally nothing as far as I can tell. They're just there. Health packs speak for themselves, but light sources is where things get interesting. One of the main mechanics of this game is light. Pretty much the entire game is dark, so you need lights to see, and also for combat and to light fireplaces. The game has a ton of different light sources. Some, like matches or the cell phone, provide light and nothing more, while others, like the torch or the Eye of Sauron, double as weapons. Most lights have a limit and will burn out with time, although some don't have a limit but offer very little light. Lights that double as weapons, or offensive lights as the game called them, can either do slow damage over time to enemies in its range, like with the lantern, or they send out a blast of light on command that instantly kills enemies, like the flaming branch. While these blast weapons have unlimited use, you do have to wait for them to recharge after each use. I do wonder if Alan Wake took some inspiration from this game, with the idea of fighting enemies with light. You can only carry 2 items at a time, so you must choose wisely as to what you carry. Some doorways require you to equip a certain color lamp to pass through them, and you'll often find yourself cycling through lanterns on the later levels. One thing I really disliked about this, though, was that you never knew which lamp a doorway needed unless you were holding the correct lantern, so you'd sometimes have to keep swapping out lanterns and walking back and forth between the room until you found the correct one. This was kinda silly if you asked me, and just wasted time. Like, why not tell me the lantern I need instead of making me bring every colored lantern to the door and hoping I have the right one? Maybe it was supposed to add to the puzzle effect? I don't know. And speaking of being a puzzle game, it did often feel like I was stuck in a maze, getting lost in the dark rooms, or having trouble finding a doorway. Not complaining, of course, as the game was intended to be like this, I believe. Story-wise, in a nutshell, you can play as either Jacob or his sister Sylvia, and they're on a quest to find their missing grandpa in an old haunted mansion after receiving a mysterious letter telling them to go there, and in the end they rescue grandpa. Holding a E10 rating, this kid-friendly horror game isn't really scary, apart from some rather creepy sound effects and music, but the cover of the '82 release is very frightful, not going to lie. A bit more about the enemies in combat. They were all limited to melee attacks and range from rats and basic ghosts to grim reapers and big spiders. They either outright did damage to the player or would freeze the player in fear, and you'd be immobile for a couple seconds and have to break free. And there's an achievement for completing the game without once dying while frozen in fear. On the topic of death, your health bar is quite unique. You see Jacob's face in the bottom left-hand corner? That's your health meter, and as you take damage, his facial expression changes from a smile to painful facial expressions to a skull when you're down to being a one-hit to death. You can restore health by either finding health packs or by standing by a fireplace, which also double as checkpoints upon lighting them. Graphics wise, this game went for a cartoonish look and did pretty good. Overall, I give this title a 7.1 out of 10, worth the $5 I paid, but no more than that. And for anyone wondering, this game can be played via backwards compatibility on modern consoles and had a physical release on the Wii. A similar game I'd suggest if you like this title is maybe Zombie Friday, which is free on Steam by the way. Anyways, that's all from me today everyone. Hope you enjoyed. For anyone new to my channel, I mostly play, review, and discuss zombie and horror games, so feel free to go check out some of my other content if that sounds interesting. Always remember, God loves you all very much. Thanks again for watching. Peace.